On today's episode, Skippy Jessup sits down with John Corser to discuss Sundance, Evie Atkinson chats with Revy Rev from The Real Rap Show, Amy Leah discusses film distribution with Joshua Ligari, and Warren Workman finds out what actors need to know if they want to have a long filmmaking career from Danny Trejo. It's all coming up on Filmed in Utah.
Welcome to Filmed in Utah. My name is Skippy Jessup. I'm here with John Corser. John Corser is the publisher of this little magazine. This is Film Utah magazine, but you're also probably more known for being a line producer, right?
That's what I get paid to do.
That's what you get. That's what makes the bucks. This
I'm
does
not
not.
who
This
knows
is a
who.
mission of love.
Exactly.
That is a mission of getting food on your family's table.
That's correct.
Okay, first, talk to me about Film Utah magazine.
Film Utah magazine was started 4 years ago. I started after a conversation with Marshall Moore, standing at the Louisiana Film Office party, and I said, "Hey, we should do something like this." He said, "Yeah, we should." And I said, "Look, they have a magazine." And I said, "We should do something like this." He said, "Yeah, we should." I said, "Well, who's going to do it?" He said, "You do it." I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I said, and he said he didn't believe that I was actually going to do it. He said, "People say this to me all the time." A year later, this was 5 years ago now. A year later, I published the magazine, and he was like thrilled. It was the best thing. Since then, we've become the strategic partner to the Utah Film Commission, and this goes out to every producer in Hollywood, all over the world to festivals.
Yeah.
It distributed by them as well as me, but they are a key component to what I do, and I'm a key component to what they do.
For people who don't know, Marshall Moore was a former guest on Filmed in Utah, and he is the head of the Utah Film Commission.
Correct.
And so that's how a magazine like this gets made, is because you get people in the industry that can then share some. I mean, like, as I'm going through this magazine, I'm seeing some of the amazing shots of Utah and some of the work that's been done here. As a line producer, what is it that you've worked on, and what are some of the things you do as a line producer?
Well, let's start with how I got to this. Because
Okay.
as a line producer, I mean, I do most of my work in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I always have. I started there. I moved here because I fell in love with a woman and got here, and I wanted to bring more of my work here. And
Okay.
I thought I didn't know before being here that there were lots of films shot here. Outstanding crews. Proximity to LA was fantastic because I could fly back and forth for meetings and do stuff in LA. I was like, wow, I need to do something to contribute back to the community that I live in. That kind of was a germination of that idea. Now, as a line producer in LA, I look at the world like it's LA and everybody else. So you always discount these farther places out from LA, and you don't realize how good the stuff is. So I wanted to bring stuff from LA to wherever I went, to or the British Virgin Islands or Europe, or I wanted to bring my people. My idea was to say, hey, there are great people here where we live that actually work in LA, that actually do the work from LA studios. So let's highlight those things.
Well, being as close to LA as you are, you'd probably have a better perspective than anyone. Where is Utah in terms of the spectrum of where, if LA is king of all kings, where does Utah rack up?
Well, a few years ago, I was 10 now, I don't know, the incentive wars started to happen.
Yeah.
And LA producers wanted to go where they get the most rebate, the most money back. And so the first tier, the first look at Utah is how much money do I get back? Which is because of the MPAU, because of the GOED, commitment to filmmaking, and the Utah Film Commission, they've raised this incentive, so it is very attractive to certainly the independent filmmaker of LA to bring their film to Utah because of 25%. It's now competitive with most of the other incentives. When all the other incentives are getting decreased, the Utah incentive is getting increased because we have a sustainable incentive here. In the other states, they were just throwing big dollars at big movie companies to get a whole bunch of people there.
Yeah.
And that now it's leveling out, and Utah is on the radar now.
What do you like most about filming in Utah? Because you you must like a lot. You made a whole magazine about it.
Number one is I live here.
Yeah.
But I was astonished at how some of the folks that I work with in LA are the people that live here. I didn't know that. In fact, I produced the Sundance Channel broadcast from the festival, and they called me not because I lived here, but because I knew them in LA. And they didn't realize it, but that happens to a lot of people. A lot of people that work here are so close, they work there. So when I can get through this, I hope, and other means, people in LA to see it, this is us. It's the West. It's not Utah, and LA. It's all of us. We're all there together. And there's so many Disney films that are shot here. They know us. They know what we can do here. There's a few others. Strategic Film Partners has done 2 films here, and another producer that I know has looked to do several projects here. So we're on the radar.
So what are your biggest challenges then as a line producer?
Well, is it to get people here in Utah, or in general?
I would
There's
think
a lot of challenges in general.
Well, because your job as a line producer is to be able to get films brought here, right? And so are the challenges?
My job is to give them a budget that works for the creative. So to make sure that the money that we have to spend matches, our days, our times, our crews, our actors, so make sure that happens. And we don't go over, or if we go over, it's for a specific reason that we can get more money from the studio or the distributor or somebody else. But it's to manage the budget. And I have to be fiscally responsible for everything that I do. So if I can find an incentive, even living here in Utah, that makes more sense somewhere else, I have to present that. So I try to bring in a lot of the intangible things, proximity. Actors like to go home on the weekends or even at night and go to a party. They can do that from Utah. You can't do that from Michigan. Other intangibles, experienced crews. I mean, the fact that these folks are the same people that work, even though they're local to Utah, they work in LA. They have that LA feel, that LA experience. So when I'm measuring it, those are some of the things that don't wind up on a clear bottom line on a number that you can present to an accountant, but the feel and the mood of it is different when you present it. So,
where do people find out about you and what you're up to, or how do they get a hold of this magazine?
It's distributed. Most of this distribution happens at Sundance. About 5,000 copies there, given out free to everybody, and anybody. They can go online, filmutah.org. Download it as a PDF. They can donate to me, and I can send one out to you.
There you go.
We accept donations. We're a nonprofit.
I think we all accept donations.
Exactly. We can do that.
In some form.
What else? The Film Commission has copies if you want them there. They go out in every producer's kit that goes to the producers that are thinking of a film to shoot in Utah. So.
And finally, what else do you want people to know about you and what it is that you do?
Hire me on jobs. Bring some jobs to you.
Is that something where you can, where we can get you jobs from this? Because if so, let's get you work. Let's get you more work.
The more I work, the more everybody else works. That's the beauty of being a line producer, because you have budgets to spend.
Well, and being filmed in Utah, there's so much that's always going on, and it seems like as we transition from season to season, there's like a whole new set of films that come up, because Utah is just that great. With each passing season, it brings like a whole new crop of films that you can have.
There's some great films that are being developed and trying to get started right now in Utah by some Utah filmmakers that have money from out of state, and they're in the $1 million, $1.5 million range. Those are key. So we should get more of those in the state.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Absolutely. Hey, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate the time that you took to come.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I'll see you up at Sundance.
Please do. Everybody, come on to the hub.
Hi, I'm Evie Atchison on the red carpet with Revy Rev from the Real Rap Show. Hi, how are you this evening?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
Now tell me a bit more about this show you have.
Well, the Real Rap Show is basically a media entertainment show. I go around and interview, whatever, whether it be rap, jazz, organizations, businesses, club events, you name it. I want to be like the next male Oprah. That's what I say. So my goal is to end up in the studio and talk about different topics and things of that nature. So that's what I plan to do.
Oh, very exciting. That's very ambitious. I like it. Big goals.
Thank you.
So could you tell us a bit more about where to find this online and where we can watch?
Well, there's the website, www.realrap.com. That's REALWRAP.com. Don't forget to put the hyphen between the L and W, okay? I also have a Facebook page, Real Rap Facebook page, as well as a Twitter, Real Rap Twitter. And you can find me on Instagram on RevyRev81.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hi, welcome to Filmed in Utah. I am Amy Leah, and I'm here with Josh Legary of Icarus Arts and Entertainment. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how's it going?
It's great. So, Icarus Arts and Entertainment, or Icarus A&E. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
That's my production company, and we are based here in Utah, and we shoot mostly here in Utah. We also shoot, obviously, in California and some other places, but because I live here, I try to shoot as much as I can around here.
Seems to be the trend. You know, you want to bring your work to Utah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it kind of doesn't matter where you are anymore in the digital age. So, I mean, I do have a producer in LA, and so if people ask if they can have a meeting, she says, well, he's maybe I shouldn't be saying this on TV, but she says, oh, he's out of town, but he can be here, by the end of the week or whatever. So.
And that's what's so beneficial about working in Salt Lake is you can hop on a flight.
Right.
It takes a couple hours. You're in LA,
Exactly.
then you come back, and it does bring a lot more business here.
Right.
But you were talking about some of the projects that you're working on recently. You just finished up a documentary.
Yeah, we had a documentary. It actually premiered right at the end of 2009. It was a long road to distribution, and we kind of had that kind of naive outlook that a lot of, I think, young filmmakers do, that you think you get into a major film festival and then your film sells. Well, we got into one of the biggest film festivals in the world, and our film didn't sell. Yeah, the Toronto Film Festival, and our film didn't sell. And so we didn't really know what our next step was. We hadn't even really thought that far ahead at that point. And so 2010 was kind of a big learning curve, and we spent all of 2010 taking the film to festivals and learning about distribution models, and eventually signed up with a smaller company that helped us distribute the film, both digitally, theatrically, and on DVD. But I learned in that time the difference between doing it yourself and having someone else do it for you. And I realized at the level that they were doing it, we basically could do it all ourselves and eliminate the middleman. Right after that, I had an experience where we did a reality show with National Geographic Channel, and they were spending so much money on advertisement that was something we really couldn't compete with. They have posters in the New York subways, and we had like a banner behind the home plate during the World Series last year. Wow. And so that's something that we could never do on our own. But, and so I think if you're not, if you can get with a major network or a major studio, it's really worth kind of going a traditional route. But if you're not, some of these smaller boutique studios, and nothing against them, I think they have provided important service for filmmakers for the last decade or so. But we're getting to a point where you can broker all of that stuff yourself, eliminate the middleman, and make a lot more money on all of your hard work. And so
that's what you do with Icarus Films.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now, is we've kind of realized that we can, we still take that initial traditional approach where we're going to submit to the big festivals. If we get a big sale with Sony or something, we're going to take that. But if we don't, rather than killing ourselves and signing up with a small company that's going to absorb all of the money from our work, we're going to do that ourselves. If we're going to do all the work anyway, we're going to be working for ourselves. And really, I have a friend that he's the head of digital distribution at Fox right now. And he's actually from the local film community here as well. And, he told me basically straight up, he's like, you can do everything that I do. You just need some phone numbers. Yeah. And that's putting it very simply. It is a little bit harder than that. But thinking about those online markets where really everything's going. Thinking about, we did a theatrical, and it was not really worth the money spent. Yeah. And we did DVD. It didn't sell even close to amount as the iTunes sales, not even a fraction. And that's just where things are going now. And so I think that's a market I can control. I can submit to iTunes. I can handle all of that in really a limited amount of work. And then if I can benefit completely from that, instead of 50% of that or 35% of that.
So are you looking to, so with Icarus Films, or Icarus Arts and Entertainment, are you looking to, do you produce for even smaller guys that don't know how to do it themselves, or what are you looking to do with that?
We have partnered with other companies. If there's a project that we felt like we could, really, it's just our own production company that we do our own creative ventures with. If there's something that we feel like we could partner with, something like the reality show for National Geographic,
What was the name of that again?
it's called Knights of Mayhem.
Knights of Mayhem.
And it's about jousters. And it just so happened that the #1 jouster in the world is from Eagle Mountain, Utah. And so when we found this out, this is a reality show waiting to happen. So we went out and we talked to him, and he had been approached by History Channel and all these people before, but he didn't feel comfortable with them. But because we were local, he wanted to work with us. And that's, that's a way you can stay where you are and make films that matter to you, is if you can tell stories that rely on this location.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make a film in Utah that looks like you're in California or New York, I don't think there's a point in doing it. But if you can tell a story that's unique to this place, you have edge over everybody else.
That's a really good point. So if anybody wants to check out, you said that you're on iTunes and...
Yeah, there's cleanflixthemovie.com is where that documentary was. You can find, you can buy it on DVD, however you like to consume it, it's all there. Icarus Arts and Entertainment, that's IcarusAE.com. We're on Twitter at Icarus Arts. You can see all the projects we're doing. We're doing documentaries, moving into fictional narrative next year, a lot of reality TV.
So a lot coming up for you. That's really awesome to hear.
Juggling a lot of things, spinning a lot of plates.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
I'm here on the set of Zombie Hunter with a guy you guys probably recognize. This is Danny Trio. Now, Danny's been here in the state 3 times this year. Holy smoke.
Yeah.
Are you starting to like Utah a little bit?
Love Utah.
He usually plays the bad guy roles. You've probably seen him on shows like Breaking Bad or as a good guy in Spy Kids.
Yeah, the uncle.
Yeah, now tell me, why do you usually choose to play the bad guy roles, though? Because you're so iconic in that type of role.
Well, when I got into this business, they kind of said, go with what you got. Well, I don't look like Brad Pitt, you know what I mean? So, I'm not what you'd call a pretty boy, and I didn't get here being pretty, So the first 5 years of my career, I was inmate #1, so that was fine with me. And I just kind of grew into being the bad guy. I've done a lot of good guy movies. Lately, I did Machete that I starred in, and I was a good bad guy. When me and Robert Rodriguez talked about that, we kind of talked about, like Clint Eastwood or Charles Bronson, the hero, but he doesn't have to wear tights, and so it was like, I can't fly, but I still kick ass.
That's right. Now, speaking of Robert Rodriguez, you actually found out down the line after working with him on a couple films that you guys are actually related.
We're second cousins. I found that out when we were doing Desperado. My family came down from San Antonio, Texas. We were filming in Acuña, Mexico. And my uncle pointed out, hey, that's our cousin, it's Robert. And they started talking. And so I said, hey, cuz, okay, let's make that limousine scene a little longer.
That's right. Now, trying to be an actor and juggling the family life, that's got to be tricky, though. How do you do it?
Bring the family with me.
That's the right way to do it. I do the same thing. My wife's back there. Okay, I got some random questions from you, from a couple of our viewers. Which one would you prefer, cupcakes or donuts?
Cupcakes.
And water skiing or snow skiing?
Suntan lotion on the beach.
Stay away from the skis altogether. Now, one person asked, if you can be any of the characters that you've ever portrayed, which one could destroy Chuck Norris?
Oh God! You know what? I know Chuck. It ain't anybody. I don't think too many people can destroy Chuck Norris. He's an amazing man. Great humanitarian. Just a really good, and he can. It's funny, but all the guys in the movies that are supposed to be like karate experts, all of them just shut their mouth anytime Chuck Norris goes. He's still Mr. Norris to everybody. That's even all the superheroes. Yeah.
Now, because we're here on Zombie Hunter, I've got to ask you a zombie-related question. It's the end of the world. You got the zombie apocalypse coming up. you could use any of the weapons you've had in any of your films, what do you use?
You know, I gotta go with a machete, because I've seen too many zombies get shot and keep coming, but if I cut him in half, I don't care if he's coming. He's a short guy. You know?
At least he gets shorter with every single swipe, right? And then my final question is, because we're doing this film Zombie Hunter here, we probably should talk about the movie really quickly. What is your part in this film?
I am the priest that is a killer. You know, I kill zombies. You know, and I spout some kind of spiritual words, but basically, I kick ass, and they get me in the end. But it's like I love the movie, and I love the director's cool. Producers are all pretty cool. All the actors, the stunt guys, they're unbelievable. Stunt guys stunt guys do not know how to hold it back. They shoot. It's a rehearsal, guys. Okay, so they're gun ho, and that's awesome.
Excellent.
Makes it really easy for an actor.
Now, one last bit of advice before we go. A lot of people who watch our show are aspiring to be either actors or filmmakers. What can you guide them to say, hey, this is the key to what's helped me in my career? Maybe you should apply it to your life.
You know what? It's like, for me, it was perseverance. It's like I hear a lot of people, I don't want to be an extra. It's like I was blessed, and I just kind of got Taft-Hartley and stuff on Runaway Train because I could handle Eric.
Not many people can do that.
And I got but basically for the first 5 years of my career, I was a glorified extra. I had lines like, we'll kill the sons of bitches, and that was about it. But I was basically inmate number one, and I loved it. I was making scale, and then the first time I got a name, I was Art Sinella in a movie called Death Wish 4 with Charles Bronson. And I said, wow, I'm like a real actor now. I'm not inmate number one.
That's excellent. Well, Danny, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to chat with us. We'll have to bring you out here for the Filmed in Utah Awards coming up in February. I think you might have 3 things nominated, so it'll be coming up. Guys, thanks for watching. When you come back,
Also, don't worry, because I'm getting rid of the zombies for you, so don't worry. Go on out at night, it's okay.
Danny's saving the world one zombie at a time, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us on this episode of Filmed in Utah. Be sure to join us next week as we talk to more fantastic filmmakers in the state. And until next week, keep filming, Utah.